Hello, all. I am back from a very busy end of my semester. Yeah, I had lots of assignments, final projects, final exams, that sort of thing. So that's where I was for some time. And if you can tell, I have some exciting footage here of Axiom and how I was able to use it to make some of my structures. And right here you can see I'm making this like defensive fort thing that I'm putting out here on the water, and pretty much just that with Axiom. I eventually scrapped the idea I have where I'm making these rigid like spiky bits, and I really just wanted to show this section anyway because I still did this, even though this never made it into the final version of this. Um, I still thought this was a good way to show what you can do, where basically like I have all these lines, so everything's measured correctly, and you can see here this is when I start stitching up these points. Yeah, this is one of the tools of Axiom. This is like their convex hull path thing. Um, yeah, it's really useful, and it pretty much allowed me to make this really nice uniform spiral thing. And then it's just finished up there because I don't really need to show it too much because I scrapped that anyway. So here I make some big walls to like make like a main like sort of gate entrance into the port here, because that's what this video is all about, the docks. Yeah, it's gonna be your standard docks, honestly, like large port, lots of ships, lots of goods traveling into the kingdom, that sort of thing. Pretty much that, and there's just a lot of footage here. Here I show off the path tool of Axiom and how I can use it to make, uh, well, right here I use it to make a really long path that I use to make the edge of my dock, and with that, it's makes my dock, and yeah, that's this tool. You can see the user interface. You can see all of their tools at the top. This is just so helpful. Like ever since this tool came out, I'm glad I'm actually able to finally show some footage of it and how I use it. So like right here, like you see, like even with like these path points, if you just mess them all up, you can like manually go and correct them, like I'm doing here. Like it's just very customizable, and there's like a preview so you can like see what you're about to make and like adjust as needed. But yeah, no, this tool is very helpful. Much nicer than World Edit in a lot of cases, but there's still some things I like World Edit for. But for the most part, Axiom is just taking over for me. I just keep using it for everything, which is really cool and nice. But yeah, this video is mostly just like the dock section, and once you see it get done, I'm not gonna show you how I make like the actual dock portion, but you know now it's an Axiom. So I get like all these ramps out to where ships can port and unload their goods, roll them up to the main concourse, and get them on carts and stuff to ship them up to the top of the kingdom, right? And that's sort of where this video goes. I work on the dock for a while. I eventually fixed the side of the fort. After that, I make like a little landing and village where I have like a village town, dock town. Like to have this dock staffed and fully operational, there needs to be a lot of civilians. So I make a village later, and right here is where I'm fixing the main military fort, and I just use the path tool to make like these circles formation and have it stretch down. But main point is that I get that all fixed up, and then we scoot on over here where I'm also in Axiom making the path up, because the dock needs to connect. So you can see I'm using the path tool, finding the settings I like, and just getting it to the shape I want. And I go through all this until it connects down to the port, and I remove a tree there using some of the Axiom tools. Leaves all this snow floating, which is annoying. I don't have any way to update the blocks really fast, so I mostly just fly around, break it. That's pretty standard for how I deal with snow for now until I find a better way. But yeah, I really should do that because there's still a lot more to be done and a lot more things I'll be working on with Axiom. So a lot more interacting with snow we had. And yeah, pretty much that this is just the path up to the little town where I'm gonna have a completely detailed town. I don't need to show you the rest of me making that thing, so I'm just scooting ahead to where I show you just like from a different point of view how I make the path. Yeah, it should like spawn in eventually, just like appear out of magically nowhere, you know. But now you know that I'm not just like pasting it in. I make it with Axiom and stuff, which is cool and everything. But yeah, there it is. Bam, shows up out of nowhere. Great, amazing. Yeah. In a second here, it'll cut to me like going around making staircases that connect the lower dock all the way up to the main concourse. And after that, I go and make the village, or I should say the outline for the village. I'll talk more about that once we get there. But essentially, where are we going from here? After this video, I have some footage of me making the village. Right now I'm working mostly on exterior structures, and a bit different from before where like I worked in sections and finished each section. There's just so much to do here, and it's just kind of overwhelming, so I've been bouncing around between different sections. It's just so I can make little progress all at a time, because I think I would get burnt out really fast if I just solely focused on like one section at a time like I've been. I mean, what worked before is that the sections were relatively small, and I had a good idea of what I wanted to do, but to be honest, I still don't really know how I want to shape this dock with like shipping and like crates and like carts and like little market, maybe little fisheries and stuff. I'm not quite sure. I gotta figure that out. And even if like the military fort, I'm not sure how I want to do that yet. I know I want to have like a full-on barracks, maybe, um, a place where the soldiers are trained and such, and like have its own docks for military ships. I do know I want to do that, but as for the rest of everything, I'm not so sure yet. I have a lot of off-camera footage of different pieces, mostly on this village here, and in the next video I'll show you that village, and I'll probably have all the exteriors finished and whatever I have planned for that big red outline you see there. And pretty much, oh man, this is like the third yawn in this video. It's a bit sad, but yeah, I'll have a plan for where I want to go forward. But as you can see, I'm using Axiom, leveling out this terrain so it's all nice and flat to have the little batch of houses and services and such. I paint over it, make it all green with grass, which is nice. Yeah, I keep finding out there's just so much more to do with just this section of the map. I thought I was close to being done, but I'm not. Cause one thing I did the other day was I made the mountain really big. I wasn't satisfied with how the peak of the map looked of this section, so I made a different peak. And I'm happy-ish with the shape, but it could definitely use a lot more work. I'll show that in a later video. But the point is that I keep finding out that I have more and more work I want to do in this map, and there's so much I want to do. There's so much I need to do still. But the good news is that with all the work that I've been doing and getting done, is that I'm making progress. So you see here in the village, I am pasting one of my buildings as like a reference to use after I make a bunch of diagonal outlines. Where the funny thing with the diagonal outlines is that I thought, oh, I could build diagonal, it won't be that bad. No, it is that bad. I went to look for reference material, and it just doesn't exist. Good builders that build diagonal, just there's so many liberties that are taken. It's only really successful if you have very minimal detail or way too, or mostly just that. So yeah, I scrap all that and just build normal. But that's the video. Yeah, I can't think of anything else really to say. Yeah, I look forward to the next one where I work in the village and show you a bit of terraforming with Axiom, making Big Mountain. Yep. Have a nice day, y'all. Peace.